Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you all for your patience. Big Beam P, I see you. Dele Jaja, hello. Lara Sage, I see you. Thank you all for your patience. Sorry we're starting a bit late today. Had a bit of delays with my work, my kitchen work, my daytime job. I'm a chef. So, but we're done dispatching everything and we're good to go. So welcome to another episode of Life's Journey. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/Tastebudzng. So welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you have subscribed, remember to hit the bell, so whenever we have a new video upload, you will be notified of it. So this is Life's Journey. It's a fantastic day to be alive. I'm excited to be alive today. I don't know about you, but I am. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And on today's topic, we are going to be treating divorce, separation, the aftermath. It is a topic that most people do not like to talk about. They shy away from it. It is not something pleasant. It is something a lot of us are embarrassed about, especially with women. African women, Nigeria women, they are embarrassed when someone should ask them about their marital status, especially if you've been known to be married once upon a time. It becomes a thing of shame. Oh, how do I face people and tell them I'm no longer married? That is one of the major issues we have in this part of the world. And today we're going to be talking about the aftermath of divorce, dissolution. How do we live with it? How do we move on with our lives after this has happened? And on today's topic, we're not just treating divorce as a legal separation. What is the definition of divorce? Divorce is simply put as the dissolution of marriage. But on today's topic, we're going to be treating separation. It is foolhardy of us and insensitive of us to look at people that have been in long-term relationships and have broken up, to look at them as nothing. For me, it is as good as a marriage. We have people that have been in a long-term relationship for like 7, 8, 10 years. Sometimes they've gone on to have 1, 2, or even 3 children. And somewhere along the line, there is dissolution. Both parties no longer want to be with each other. So how do you classify that? Are you going to say because there is no certificate to show that they were joined, so they were not an item? That is foolhardy, and that is not a right way to look at it. So I am looking at divorce and separation today as a union between two people, as an intimate, prolonged relationship between two people that has suddenly come to an end. How do we deal with our lives? How do we move on with our lives after the end of such a relationship? So if you know you have been married before, you are now separated, legally divorced, you have a certificate to show you've been divorced, or you've just simply moved away from your previous relationship. If you know that relationship was intimate and you had it for a prolonged period of time, then this topic is also for you. It is not just for people that have a legal documentation showing that they are no longer with their previous partners. No. Today's topic is meant for people that have been in an intimate, prolonged relationship that has suddenly come to an end. That is why we tagged it divorce, separation, the aftermath. When that relationship is no more, the both of you have parted ways, how do you move on with your life? How do you tell your loved ones, how do you tell people around you that that relationship is over with, that relationship is dead, it no longer exists? It can be a bit challenging when you meet people that that you used to know when you were a couple with your previous partner, and their reaction to the news, or you're no longer together, what happened, what could have happened, and all of those. How do you handle it? Today I'm going to be having someone very special to me. She is knowledgeable in this field and in so many other fields. She happens to be a lifestyle coach. I'm going to be inviting her to share with us her knowledge based on her capacity as someone that has been through a divorce situation, as someone that has been through the breakup of a relationship that was intimate and lasted for a prolonged period of time. Someone that also happens to be a life coach. In the next few minutes, I'm going to be bringing her on. But I want you all to remember that on this channel, the aim of this channel is to come together and learn. We want to learn from each other's experience. We want to learn from each other's stories. We want to help each other physically, financially, emotionally. That is what this channel is all about. Because we're going to have people come on this channel and tell us about their real life stories, the struggles that they're currently in, and they want solutions on how to move on. So it is one story at a time, but we're not just going to end at telling stories. We are actually going to try our best to proffer solutions to these challenges. So join me as I welcome Lara Sage. I said it was going to be a surprise. I didn't want to mention her name. So Lara Sage, if you're here, I would like you to wave your hand so I can bring you in. So I'm going to wait for Lara Sage if she's here. I'd like her to just wave, and then I can bring her on so she can tell us about how to survive this traumatic experience called divorce and separation. So I'm going to be going live with Lara Sage so she can come on and share her wealth of knowledge on this topic. And I believe we would have one or two things to take home with us. So let's welcome Lara Sage. So while we're waiting for Lara it's connecting. This beautiful sister of mine, she's coming on live now to discuss with us. Hello, Lara.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lara, for your willingness to come on this show and share with us from your wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. So, guys, this is Lara Sage. Her ID handle is Lara Sage. She's an agriculture specialist. She's a consultant. So she has so much to offer. But today she's sharing with us tips on how to survive divorce, separation. And she'll be sharing it with us based on her capacity as a lifestyle coach and from her own personal experience. So guys, welcome Lara Sage. Welcome, Lara. Nice to have you.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tastebudzng. I'm so happy to be here. I mean, this is really cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so not to take up too much time. Um, I would like to start by saying that um, just before the divorce happens, a lot of things that usually would you would notice a lot of things, and then most times a lot of us women do not notice. So I'll be talking from my own personal point of view. What happened up until when we call it quits, and then how I was able to help myself. So basically, right? So I was married at a very young age, and we were going on smooth, and then all of a sudden everything just seemed as if everything just changed. And then it's so easy for people to say, oh yeah, didn't you see all the red flags and all that? But then trust me, it's not easy. So for example, if you have a guy, probably you started and then he doesn't drink, just about when everything is about to go into shambles, he may start drinking. So let me come from my own personal my own personal experience. He was drinking, he would beat me up. I've been through a very violent kind of relationship, marriage. And we were married for, I think, about 3 or 4 years. And this is someone I used to know. My best friend, I can say that. So, this could happen to anybody, even if you know him. So just before we call it, so he will come home late night. He keeps late nights, come home drunk. He will beat me, he will lock me up. And then he will say that, look, if I can have you, then nobody would have you. So I was a bit scared, but then I didn't understand what was going on. I just thought it was the normal marriage situation. Not to talk so much. I was living in Accra then, and we had communication issues. Now, it's so easy for people to sit down, talk to him, have a conversation about it. But it's not very easy because most Nigerian men, now this is not me bashing anybody, but then most Nigerian men are emotionally vulnerable. You understand? So where do you begin that conversation with? Where do you begin it from?
Yeah.
You understand? So I did try to communicate, but of course, it's a boy process. He didn't know that didn't understand that I was so sad. I was, in a place that, I was so sad. I was so sad. And,
Devastated. Devastated.
Yeah, exactly. I was not happy. I was not a happy person. But everything around me, everyone around me felt it. Because I would snap at people, I would yell. I was extremely rude. But then
You weren't the Lara you used to know yourself to be. Yeah.
At all. So just before then, you come home drunk, we had serious issues. He wouldn't talk to me. We'll quarrel for 2 weeks without talking. He live abroad, I live in Ghana. We don't message, don't do anything. So I'd left him mentally.
Yes.
About a year.
Yeah, that's always the first stage.
Exactly.
Mental separation.
Exactly. Yeah. You understand? So I left him mentally like a year or thereabout, but I was still trying to, make things work because, we live in a society that people judge you, and then your mind is, the woman is very funny. Your mind just automatically, if you leave, it starts to bring out reasons why you should have waited.
You should have tried harder.
I did try all that. Exactly, So I did try all that, but then it wasn't working. I remember the last conversation I had with him. I called him 100 times. And I was saying my mind was saying that, okay, fine. Even if he didn't see the first call, the second call, the 50th call, the 60th, at least he will see the 100 calls.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He didn't call me back. He didn't pick it. You understand? He didn't return. And then 2 days later, he sends me a text. Look, I want this over and done with. Now, I was broke. I was still broke. And I was just really very confused. But the good thing about me, I can speak for myself. I never let myself go in the marriage.
Yeah.
I didn't know people that let themselves go. They'll be fat. They'll be, they don't know where to start. They're lost. But then I thank God that I was, and of course, I was a lifestyle coach while, going to school. So it was a bit better. And the reason it was a bit better was because what do lifestyle coach, what do we do really? it's basically creating an alter ego for someone. It was really easy for me. But then, I'm human. I love this human being. I mean, so much emotions going on and all that. So I was happy I didn't have to deal with weight issues or, I mean, it was maybe, so I was already on the surface. I just needed to help myself mentally. So instead of looking for, solutions outside, I rather came inside of me and said, look, I do this for people. I help them.
Yes.
Become a better version of themselves. Now, this is me. I knew a lot of people, and then trust me, as a lifestyle coach, yes. But I remember that just those few days after he sent me that message, I was looking for platforms like this. I wanted to talk to people. And because women pretend.
A lot.
You understand? Don't tell you the real thing happening in their marriage. In their marriages, you understand?
We're usually in denial. We're usually in denial.
Exactly. And then this is one thing I learned. If a woman is confident and then you ask her for advice, she's going to advise you based on her own
level of confidence.
So the confidence level, exactly. So if a woman is probably a doormat, she's lost herself in everything, she's going to advise you based on that. But then, so I was very confused. Nobody, there was no friend, it was just my sister. And then my sister asked me to come to Lagos. I did. And then she said, look, Clara, you can do this. I knew I could do it because, I was already in school. I had a lot of, my cousins, my sister, my brother. You understand? I had all those people around me. But then I needed someone to just sit down and understand. My sister wasn't divorced, so she couldn't understand really.
It is difficult explaining it to someone that hasn't been on that part.
Exactly.
It's almost impossible.
Exactly. It's so difficult. And when you speak to adults about these things, older people, older generations, they're like, you're supposed to be patient.
Patient, try and work it out.
You're supposed to, or they say, pray for him. And I'm like, pray for whom exactly?
Meet your pastor. Talk to a pastor.
Exactly. You understand? And I was never a Christian. I was raised a Muslim, so it wasn't easy for me to go to any pastor. You understand? And I'd never been the kind of person to go and then have a discussion about my relationship because I discovered that a lot of people would pretend. Women are just very beautiful human beings. You understand? So, but then I could pull myself out. You understand? Because I already do this thing. I already help people set their life straight. You understand? So I had to change my wardrobe. I looked for work. I had to go back to work. I went back to point zero and I started to work my way up. But he left me broke. He wasn't speaking to me. We're speaking through lawyers. You understand? So if the lawyer allows me to stay for like 6 months and then he's not said anything, on the 7th month, he would just call me up and then just stop me emotionally. And I said to myself, look, I'm going to cause all that. But it was easy for me again because we didn't have kids.
Yes.
You understand? It was very, very easy.
It is so much more difficult with children in the mix.
Yes, exactly.
It is so difficult.
You understand? So, but then, I know a lot of people that have been in worse situations than I have. You understand? I don't know, maybe because I was raised a Muslim, so I saw it differently. Nobody to tell me, be submissive to a Christian. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You understand? Or a pastor will tell you to fast for 3 days and then all those things. You understand? It was, and then I had no one really. I really had no one. I was talking to myself every time because I did not want to lose myself. I would cry. It was extremely painful.
You'll go through the mourning phase. The mourning phase. You have to mourn it.
I'm telling you, exactly. You understand? So I remember telling myself that I just needed 1 hour with him to ask, what did we do wrong?
Yes.
When did we get it wrong? How did we get to where we were? You understand? And then I just had to find closure. You understand? I just had to find closure within myself.
You can move on.
You're a lifestyle coach. You have to do this again. No problem going to point zero. You have to unlearn what you have learned and then help yourself. Yes, first of all, I knew I wasn't happy. I had to learn that happiness comes from within. Yes, and not externally. It doesn't depend on anybody. I used to think that back in marriage, that look, this man has to make me happy.
No.
It wasn't me. Exactly. I went out when we broke up, then I realized that look, happiness is really from within. You understand? It was quite easy for me because on the emotional side, because I could talk to myself. I already do this for people. I get them the best place they can be, or the best version of themselves. You understand? So it was really, well, not easy, but then it wasn't the whole dramatic, you stay somewhere for 6 months, people are giving you bad advices, you have to go through that, and all those things. Yeah, I did make mistakes after the whole thing, the process. I wanted to get back at him. I was angry, I was bitter. But then when I engaged myself in stuffs, I actually did engage myself in doing other things.
Yeah, you have to discover things that you like, things that.
When I started to engage myself sorry?
Yeah, sorry, the phone just fell. Okay, okay. So can you see me now? Yes.
Yes, I can see you. Yeah. So like I was saying, so it was really very easy for me, Tastebud, and I'm so grateful that you have a platform like this, because I was saying to myself that this is actually going to be a conversation that a lot of people can
Relate to and learn from.
Look, we are stuck with broken men. That's just the truth of the matter. A lot of African men are emotionally void. You understand? When you're when you're still dating and all that, you guys are in the mental space 50-50. When you get married, you are in the mental space 80%. He's just doing it 20%. So it's a lot of yeah, exactly. So it's worse for the woman, you understand? Lord, I remember praying. I wanted a platform like this that I could just speak to people that actually have gone through it. I don't need your encouragement. I just needed to know how you coped with it. But unfortunately, I had to learn it myself, I changed my wardrobe, I changed my way of dressing. And the funny thing,
you need to rediscover yourself.
Exactly, because I dated him so long, for a long time. We've been rolling since secondary school days. I forgot how to date men. You understand what you do, on the first date.
You forget what dating is like. All
exactly.
You have to relearn.
I have to relearn everything. You understand? I had to go to YouTube videos. I was learning. So, what are the things you say on the first date? What are the things you don't say on the first date? But then I was lucky because
what are the things to expect?
Exactly.
What are the lines to say?
It was really bad. I got a cat at some point. I just needed like an emotional stability.
You need to find yourself again.
Yeah, exactly.
Rediscover all those things you usually would do before you met him. Sometimes in relationship you kind of give up on some. You kind of give up on some of the things you used to do so you can be in a relationship. You compromise. Like for me, it was going to the theater. I used to love to go to the movie theater, but because I was married to someone that didn't care about going to the cinema, I stopped doing that. So the first thing I did when I filed for the divorce and I moved on with my life, I started discovering or rediscovering the hobbies that I used to love to do. Going to the gym, going to the cinema, those are the things I love to do. So that is a fantastic way of rediscovering yourself, because it's been such a long time. That's why I say prolonged relationship. You lose yourself in the essence. You lose yourself in that relationship. So coming out of it, you have to rediscover who Lara is once again. You have to rediscover yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, you went through so much. You went through so much.
Look, I couldn't watch love movies. Any romantic movies at all for like 2 years.
It will make you cry.
I couldn't listen to love songs for like 2 years. When I see two people holding hands, I'm like, yeah, it will end in premium tears. You understand? I was so bitter. You understand? I was so bitter. Oh myself. I'm like, look, it really has nothing to do with any other person. It's you. Okay, I married the dude, you understand? So it's really me, you understand? So, it was, look, a lot of women, right? I remember that one person, she also had the same thing, and then she was praying, God, why me? And I said, God had nothing to do with this.
Yes.
Because look, relationship at levels. So you understand? So I mean, like, I married this dude. Of course, he was immature and all that. So it was my problem to deal with, not any other person's
Exactly.
problem. And trust
It's
me,
your cross.
exactly. So it was. So the first thing I did, right, was to rediscover myself. That is a fantastic coping mechanism for
Mechanism, yeah.
anybody. You have
Yeah.
to rediscover
Rediscover
yourself.
yourself.
It's a time that you look inwards.
Yes.
You understand? And say, look, who was I before this guy? Or
Yes.
who was I before? Yeah, you understand? Who was I before the relationship? You need to go back. I mean, there. And unfortunately, because a lot of women don't have content, a lot of women revolve their lives around the man. They really
Yeah.
don't know who they are. So, I mean, after the divorce, it will really be confusing for people that don't have content.
Yes.
You understand? Like people that don't have maybe a career or
They've
maybe
lost their identity of who they really are or what they want in life.
and say, yeah, it was easy for me because I had to rediscover myself. Some women don't even know who they are. You understand? They live by a social script that
Yes.
only God knows who wrote. You understand? I mean, they don't even know who they are. You understand everything? So, I mean, at a very young age, well, I'm still very young anyways, but I was very mature because I would look at people's relationships, you understand, and say to myself, look, I don't want that. You understand? But unfortunately, I mean, like, you don't want that, you don't want that. You know the things to avoid. But when you get into the relationship,
Yep.
and especially when you're in a relationship with the broken person, I mean, we women too are broken, men too are.
Yeah.
And because the African society allows the man to leave the emotional space of the relationship, like 70-80%, you are left to handle the whole thing. And the unfortunate thing is that he has a plan B. He has an escape plan or route. He can cheat. You cannot. So you owe it to yourself. Do not let your life end when you marry the man. Because the truth of the matter is, when it all goes to, point zero,
Yeah.
it's easier for him to move on. You understand? Rather than you, because you have to maybe you're fat, you're not very fine, maybe you have inferiority complex, you have to work on that. And those things take months or if not years. You understand? So, I'm talking from my own personal points, experience, but I'm sure a lot of people are even in deeper situations that I am. But the first thing, and when people come to meet me, like, how did you? The first thing I tell them is that, look, you will cry, it will be painful, your mind will not let you sleep, your mind will question everything you did. You understand? Your mind will say, oh, you should, if you had done it this way, probably
It's
you
in
guys.
stages. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's in stages.
Exactly.
First stage is
Exactly.
denial. Second stage is anger. Depression. It's just an emotional roller coaster. And then, you have to learn how to love yourself again because you'll feel maybe it's your fault. It's something you did or something you didn't do. It's just an emotional roller coaster for anyone going through this.
It is. But then, this is what I always tell people. Rediscover yourself. That's just it. You have to learn it. I don't know how you're going to, but you just have to learn it. Thank God for a platform like this. It's easier now because, this is a conversation about how these things go. You understand? And thankfully, we all have experienced it, so there is no forming or there is no pretense.
Exactly. Because that is the problem we have here. A lot of women in Nigeria are ashamed to come out and say, okay, I've been down that road because they are afraid of being judged. They are afraid of being laughed at. So they go around in denial. I have a friend that has been divorced for the past 6 years, but guess what? She bought herself a wedding ring and she wears the wedding ring and she parades like a married woman. I'm telling you, she can't come out and tell people that she's no more in that marriage. So when you have a platform like this that, women can come out and, discuss, talk to each other. There are different stages of grief that we all have to go through. Whether you were the one that filed for the divorce or you were the one on the receiving end, the truth is that you have to go through that mourning phase because divorce, the solution, separation has to do with a loss. You have lost years. You have
So
lost
true.
so many
So
years of
true.
your youth. You have lost a part of your life that you've spent with someone. So it's going to come with a lot of anger, with a lot of regret, with a lot of questioning. So when you
True.
know that you are not alone, there are other people that have been down that path. You can come out and talk freely. And even if you
Yes.
are still in the process, those that have been on that path and have successfully come out of it are in a better
Yeah.
position to advise you. It is really
Ex-
difficult getting advice from people that have never really experienced divorce,
exactly.
separation, the loss
Exactly.
of a loved one. It is very difficult. So,
It's very difficult.
the
And
advice I
yeah,
give people is be mindful of the people you meet to advise you. Be
exactly, exactly.
mindful.
Because a lot of people pretend. And I remember there was this friend of mine. She didn't know I was going through a divorce, but then she thought that I didn't have a relationship, and she would parade her husband in front of me like he's the best thing that happened to the world.
After sliced
Look, it
bread.
was exactly. You understand? It's not because I didn't know what to do. But because, I mean, I just needed someone, you understand, to be in that same mental space like I was, you understand? I wanted to look at someone that that had been through this for like, let's say, 2 or 3 years, and then look and say, oh, there is hope, you understand? Well, I mean, there was nobody, and then I had someone that was pretending and faking everything. You understand? For me, so it was really hurtful. I mean, we've gotten to a stage in our lives that we should stop pretending. And women compromise. We don't bring correct to the table.
Yes.
You understand? Because most times you don't bring correct to the table. When you're back in point zero or at point zero, you don't even know who you are anymore because you have so faked it.
Yes.
You understand? You have so accepted a lot of bullshit.
You've
Excuse my
lost
friend.
senses of who you truly are. You've
You
lost
just,
senses of
I'm
your
telling you,
essence.
you just be very confused. You understand? But then I'm so grateful for a platform like this. At least we both have gone through this. And I
Yes.
mean, I've been divorced for 5 years. So I mean, someone somewhere that is actually facing this or is in the process can look at us and say, wow, at least she's smiling again, eh? So there is actually, I mean, you smile again after you stop crying.
Yes.
You know, because in the initial stage, you'll be like, God, am I ever going to stop crying? Am I ever going to be back to normal? I mean, what's going to happen after this point in my life? You understand? So, but then this is good because a lot of people can look at us and say, look, wow, they've been divorced and look at them. You understand? They actually,
Hello,
I mean,
Eco Joyce. We are reading the comments. And thank you for joining in, Eco Joycey. Thank you so much. Yes, a lot of women in Africa are pretentious because of what people will say. We do not want to come out from a very terrible relationship, despite the fact that we know there is no light on that part. We are not saying don't give everything you can to salvage a bad marriage. We're not saying do not put in your best to salvage a bad relationship. But there is just that point where you get to and there is, we aren't compatible anymore. You have divorced or separated yourself from that person mentally. Because the first stage for divorce or the first stage in separation is the mental part of it. Mentally, you know you're no longer with that person. Emotionally, you can't see yourself in a loving relationship with that person. Those are actually the first stages of separation or divorce. So when you know that you have gotten to this phase, there is no need delaying or wasting more years of your life in a toxic relationship like that. The best thing for you to do is to call your spouse and have that discussion that we've come to the end of the road and I don't think I can do this anymore, or there is no point in us deceiving ourselves. And then you go your separate ways. You file for a divorce or a separation or whatever it is that works best for you. Instead of living in denial, living in lies, being hypocritical about your relationship status, it is not all right. You owe it to yourself mentally, emotionally, physically to be stable. You cannot give love if you do not have love. You cannot radiate love or be good to people when you're irritable all the time. When you're in a toxic relationship, you become irritable. You can't even recognize yourself anymore. You're not the person you used to be. I mean, Lara even told us, you start snapping at people that haven't done anything to you. So is this what you want to do, to live the rest of your life not being who you truly are? It isn't worth it. So if you've gotten to that point mentally, emotionally, where you know you cannot continue in a toxic relationship, please come out of it. Do yourself and your partner a world of good. Come out of it and move on. Lara Sage, honestly, you don't know what you've done. You've really helped a lot of people. There's another woman, I think Architect 27. She went through a terrible divorce. In her own situation, she was the one on the receiving end. And you know what it's like when you least expect to be separated from someone you've been with, and then it just happens. You have to struggle through with the shock, with the anger, the pain, the depression, and then in some cases, the financial aspect of it. Because sometimes in a marriage, some people, were fortunate enough that their former spouses were the ones carrying the whole financial burden. So when such a relationship comes to an end, suddenly, the other party has to start fending for themselves financially. It is never easy. So there are so many implications to this separation and divorce situation. There are so many implications. There are so many hats that you never used to wear before that you now have to start wearing. The worst is if you are going through a divorce or separation and you have children. That, I will tell you, it's not easy. Because children, the children once upon a time were used to having financial support from both parents. All of a sudden, one parent now has to bear the responsibility. Like we find it here in Nigeria. I'm a living example. I'm a living testimony. They'll tell you to go have a marriage, or rather a court wedding, because when you do have a court wedding, in the case of a divorce, the court is going to ensure the children are well taken care of. The court is going to ensure blah, 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 blah. It doesn't happen in Nigeria. I'm going to tell you for free. For the entire 8-year period I was in the court with my ex-husband fighting for children custody and joint custody, because I filed for joint custody. Okay? I have been paying for my children's tuition. I have been feeding, clothing, and taking care of them. So you can imagine what they used to have when it was the both of us taking care of their finances, as now that I alone have to bear the financial burden. Because here in Nigeria, most men believe that if a woman is filing for a divorce, in my case, I filed. So if a woman is filing for a divorce, the rightful thing for her to do is to leave the children with the former husband and then move on with her life. That is the Nigerian mentality. They don't believe in joint custody. They don't know how to share. They need a competent court to wade in and insist that custody should be shared. But that is not the case. Logically, any mature human being that has the best interest of the children at heart should know that in the best interest of the children, both parents should have visitation rights. Both parents should have access to the children. But here in Nigeria, it is not the case. And that is one of the reasons why most women are stuck in horrible marriages until they actually die out of domestic violence. They will never leave. Because the thing they're going to tell you is, if I leave, he's going to take the children from me. He's going to take... So how many NGOs do we have out there that are willing to fight for women's rights in the High Court? How many? We have the FIDA that tries as much as they can to protect the interest of women and female children. But they are unable to do so much because the system, I'm afraid, is corrupt. The system is also very slow to respond. So sometimes if you're waiting for a custody battle issue that lasts as long as 8 to 10 years, who bears the brunt of paying the children's school fee? Who bears the brunt of feeding the children, clothing the children in a country like Nigeria where the men believe they own the children? So it is even worse for women with children filing for a divorce. It is worse. And so that's why I tell people in young marriages, if you can see that this marriage isn't going anywhere, you guys made a
No.
mistake, or just somewhere along the line, your differences grew so much that you can no longer accommodate each other, it is better to part ways before children come into play. Because when children come into play, it's a it's a game changer. It's another whole level entirely. It's another whole level. Now you're not just going to be talking about the solution of marriage between you and your ex. You're now going to be talking about children custody issue, finances,
Yeah.
and
School
so
fees.
many
Yeah.
things. Yes, accommodation for the kids, school fee for the kids, feeding, upkeep, general upkeep of the children, of which most Nigerian men will fight you to the death. For example, I tell women, you see, each time I look at my children, I feel so blessed. I thank God that I have the opportunity to raise them, because what other people will see that it is normal. Oh, my kids around me, it's normal. For me, it is not normal. It is a beautiful thing, because it is something I have paid so much money. Imagine having lawyers on your payroll for 8 years just so you'll be able to have the opportunity of raising your children. The month you don't have the lawyer showing up in court for you, they can come with a court summon to take your children away from you. So it is
Wow.
crazy. So a lot of women are going through so much. They need emotional support. They need legal aid. A lot of women need legal aid because they do not have the funds for it. There is just
They do.
so much that they are going through, and that is why when I read in the papers of a woman dying from domestic abuse, I feel pain, because the question is, oh, why was she there when the man was beating her every day? Why is she not pack her load? It is really difficult when you have kids. It is so difficult for these women. So if these women know that they have financial support, they have the support of legal aid councils, they have the support of of a support group where you can come and discuss this, they will be emboldened to do the right thing. They will be emboldened, they will be strengthened to take that necessary step they need to take. Like, I remember talking to my eldest daughter. I told her, I said, I know that this divorce hasn't been easy on you and your siblings. Life is different. It's not what you used to know it to be. But I just want you to know one thing, that it is better off for you to have both parents alive and taking care of you from different parts of the world or different parts of the country than to have one parent dead.
Exactly.
Because when a relationship gets so toxic that both parties can no longer continue on the same path, even for the sake of the children, because some people will argue and tell you, because of children now, if I just manage. Even for the sake of the children, it is best you both go your separate ways. You see, when
Exactly.
children are living in a home where there is no love, all they see is fighting, quarreling, parents not showing love to each other. The only thing you're instilling in those children is the fear for commitment in a relationship. When they grow up, they wouldn't want to get married, and they'll tell you, why should we get married? What I know of marriage is not good. Coming from where they are coming from, watching their parents fight all through their lives, do you think they'll want to be in a relationship in future? The answer is no. So what is your gain? You're staying together for the sake of the children, but the children are learning the lessons they shouldn't be learning by watching the two of you fight like cats and dogs. So what is the point? Go your separate ways. Let the
Exactly.
children know that their parents love them, but they just were not compatible enough to continue in that relationship.
Yeah, I get this, but and also right, because we will. I feel that in Nigeria, right, if we don't tackle this problem from the right source, it's going to continue and it's going to continue. It's going to continue.
Yes.
Now, first of all, a lot of women don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't even have any business getting married, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You understand that kind of thing? Because, I attended a wedding today, and then the pastor said, look, wives, be submissive to your husbands. And a lot of women were clapping. And I'm like, okay. So I put someone beside me, and then I asked, what does submissive mean? And then she was like, anything when your husband tell you make you do, then you go do. I was like,
They've
sorry,
gotten
you
the
mean
whole
you don't have the
concept
mind of you?
wrong.
And she said, so that is. I said, my goodness, wait a minute. Is it a master-slave kind of relationship, or these people are in the actual relationship? You understand? So a lot of women don't even know themselves, because if you're an adult and someone says, look, anything where your husband say make you do, now he make you do. I think that is really, there's something really wrong about that statement.
It's a misconception. It's a
Exactly. And then
misconception,
was
and women have to be
you see
re-educated.
older women advising younger women, younger girls getting married like that. And I'm like, my goodness, my God. Really? This is going to end in disaster. And
It
then these are
is.
the same people that are praying for him when it is obvious they cannot be together. So in the first place, some women don't even have
Any business,
businesses.
because they do not understand what marriage is all about. They don't even understand the term submission. They don't know what it means in the context of marriage.
Exactly.
So,
Actually, so it's and I was asking someone one day. He said he went for marriage counseling, and then he wakes me up 2 a.m. in the morning to settle something that is seriously not my business. And I don't mean to be self-centered, but I really don't care. Now, see on herself, marry on herself.
Yep.
Your marriage counselor, right? Before you guys got married, you were supposed to do something for me. You disappointed me. You went to attend the marriage counseling, what. Only God knows what they told you guys there. And then you're waking me up at 2 a.m. Whereas you should be waking that person up that gave you people the advice. You understand? Because these two people are, in fact, when you see them, you know they are not compatible. It's so glaring that from what they say, their beliefs, everything is so obvious they are not compatible. In fact, I would have said, okay, you know what, you guys take your time, maybe marriage is not the thing you guys should be doing now.
exactly.
You understand that kind of. Yeah, but then they don't tell them the truth. I don't know why. Maybe I just don't get it. And then you see the women crying, waking people up at 2 a.m. Asking people for money so that they can buy Pampers. And I'm like, my God.
Oh my goodness.
How?
Oh my goodness.
How? How did you get yourself? This is just, it's not rocket science. So
Sorry.
sometimes,
Let me just see. Kelvin Amu. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. Women really do not know themselves, and the traditions in our society doesn't help them either. Well, it is a responsibility for our parents, because first of all, we as parents or elders, we have to take it upon ourselves to start educating women on their role as an individual. First of all, they have to know who they are. They have to go on a journey of self-discovery. If you do not know who you are, you don't know what you want for yourselves, you don't know what your value systems are, you have no idea of what you want in life, I don't think you have any business being in a relationship with anyone, because you have nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer. Relationship, marriage, whatever it is, as long as it's a union, it is give and take. It is not give and give, and it is not take and take. Exactly. When you haven't built yourself to the point where you have something to give, there is no point going into a union, because you will be coming in empty. You have nothing to offer. And the result is always, the end result is always disastrous, because at some point in time, the other party is going to feel used. The other party is going to start feeling abused, like all I do is give, and all you do is take. And then your lame excuse is, but now there's really nothing I can offer for now. So why go into a relationship when you have nothing to offer? Even if the relationship started out very sweet, it's only a matter of time before the other party that is giving gets fed up. And so it's just going to hit the rocks. So women should understand that until they are mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially prepared to go into a union that have no business in that union.
Exactly. Maybe that would
Yes.
maybe cut short. Maybe even people that know themselves, you know who you are before you get into marriage, even ends up in disaster. Not to talk of
Talk
people that
off those that don't.
are completely.
Yes.
I mean, it's just really. I mean, it's just really weird. And I don't know, women. I just feel that because women are more compassionate, like a lot of we will take more responsibility in the whole thing. I'm not saying that usually it's not the man, but then I'm saying that women, I mean, because we're naturally people that act the victim. I was speaking to someone yesterday and she told me there was something that happened. A man, he married this woman when he didn't have money. So he became very rich and he wanted to move on from that woman. And then my friend said to me that is wrong for the man. You should rather help her. And I'm like, no, the man has absolute no blame in this because you are both adults. She's not a child. She's a wife. It doesn't mean she's stupid. But then when you say the man is supposed to help her, it means that you're saying that the woman is stupid. It means that she can't help herself.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, you see this woman, she's looking 10 years older than the man, whereas the man is 10 years older than she is. And I'm like, why? Because she doesn't even know herself. There's no content. She brought absolutely nothing to the relationship. So she's not going to live with anything. The man is going to move on. They are not going to, nobody's going to go and, put chains on him and say, don't move on. And that's the truth of life. If you stop moving on, he will move off from you. Exactly. So, a lot of women too, as much as we say, divorce, there's an option if you're going through this, divorce is the way. Women too we need to also speak to a lot of women, you understand? Because some people don't get it.
Simply Vic, thank you for joining in, Simply Vic.
Hi Simply Vic.
Sweet Sensation 4, thank you. Yeah, even when they know themselves, they listen to society and rather suffer there than move on.
Exactly. So it's a lot of this topic is huge. And
it is.
It's a big problem in our society. Seriously, women are just we keep acting the victim. For why? Why exactly do we do that? When the truth of the matter is, we know that some people are not supposed to go into relationships at all. And and religious houses are not even helping matters because
they aren't.
They don't.
They aren't.
Nah, they don't.
That's why I say it is up to us as elders, parents, pastors, people in position of authority to re-educate women, to tell them what a marriage institution or a marriage union is all about, what is expected of them as a woman. It's not just a give and a give and a give relationship. It's a two-way thing. It's a give and a take. The man gives and the woman also gives. The man takes and the woman also takes. So it's a give and a take relationship if you really want things to work out. Thank you so much, Lara. I am so grateful for you coming in and sharing your knowledge with us and tips on how to get by in a situation like this. It is nothing to be ashamed of. You've heard from Lara. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is something for you to come out, discuss with people that have been down that path, and learn one or two survival lessons from it. I believe in life that there is nothing we go through that happens coincidentally. It is always for a reason. There is something to take out of even the worst situation. Divorce is traumatic, it is painful, it comes with a lot of destruction sometimes in its wake. It comes with a lot of anger, pain, and bitterness. But remember, there is always a lesson to take from it. Look for that lesson that is in that breakup. Learn that lesson, and you will be better off for it. You might even use it to help some other person in future that is going through that rough patch. Remember that some people went through a divorce and they took their lives afterwards. They committed suicide. They were so depressed they couldn't come out of it. But you came out of it for a reason. You are standing today unbreakable for a reason. Look at Lara. If she had ended it all, or destroyed her life in the process, she will not be here to discuss her experiences with you. And if I had thrown in the towel and said, you know what, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, I will not be sitting here to create this platform for us all to come and talk and learn. There is a lady I want to bring in. I don't know if she's still here. Her name is on IG, she is Architect27. But before I do that, guys, Lara Sage, that is her handle on IG. Please go on her page and follow Lara Sage. There is so much you have to learn. I was even thinking of meeting her to educate me on how I can start a small farm. She's a consultant when you want to go into farming, poultry, vegetable farming, and so many wonderful things. I think you should go on Lara's page, and she's also a lifestyle coach. So if after this program you are struggling with a divorce, you're struggling with separation, you are so depressed, you do not know what to do or who to talk to, please, Lara Sage is a lifestyle coach. Her handle is Lara Sage on Instagram. Please look out for Lara Sage. She has so much knowledge when it comes to lifestyle issues, how to handle it. Please meet her up. Thank you so much, Lara. Thank you, Lara.
You're welcome.
Please stay, still stay with us. There's this lady I want to bring in. She had a terrible divorce. Things got so bad, she didn't even have a accommodation. You know, when sometimes in relationship, you get booted out. It's so surprising, it's so shocking that the man says, you know what, you're packing out of my house. Some women had it that bad. They couldn't even put themselves together. They have no job, no finances, nothing, nowhere to turn to. She had it so bad. She could have taken her life. She could have just ended it all, but she decided to find her feet on the ground. She decided to go through it all, start up a business for herself, and make something out of it. Her name is _27 architect on Instagram. So if she's here, 27th_architect. If she's here, I'm going to bring her in. She managed to start up a business that is now doing well in Abuja. She's still indebted to about 200,000 from what I gather, because if there is anything I want us to do on this channel is to support each other. There are lots of women that have gone through divorce and they're struggling so hard to find their feet on the ground financially. I want us to be able to support each other so we can move on in life. So Architect27, I'm going to bring you in so you tell us a little bit about your journey so far, your life's journey. That's the series, the life's journey. We're here to talk about our life's journey and things that has happened to us in the course of our journey through life. So 27th_architect, I'm trying so hard to bring you in and I can't bring you in. I think your network is your network is bad. If you're still here, Architect27, can you wave your hands? I'm trying to bring you in. I think she's in a bad network area. Well, while she tries to come on, I'll tell you a bit of her story. She was in a marriage, and cut the long story short, the marriage ended. She was the one on the receiving end, so she got booted out, and she had nowhere to go, no one to turn to. It was so bad she had to live in a one-room apartment where there was no working toilet. So the one room is not an apartment, it's just a one room, like when you have a one room that faces you, and then you have to look for where to use. When you want to use the toilet, you have to actually go around looking for a toilet or a bathroom to use, you know. So it was that bad. She was in that condition for over a year. She was in that condition. And from that nothingness, she was able to start up a small business. She started a small business. it didn't go too well. Okay, so the video kind of ended on the IGTV. So I'm going to just share this. I'm going to just share this because the video just ended here. So we'll go on. So 27th underscore architect, we're waiting for her to join in. Her network is bad. Like I said, this channel is to help each other, and I wanted her to come on and tell us a bit about what she had gone through, how she was able to survive it all. I will need her to... So I'm going to be rounding off today's show since we're having a bit of a connection issue here. I really wish this lady could come in and tell us her story, but unfortunately she's unable to join us. So hopefully next week she should be able to come in and join in and tell us what her story is. But her name is 27th underscore architect. Please follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is 27 underscore architect. I really would love for us to encourage her by patronizing her business, helping her to find her feet once again. This channel is all about helping each other to rediscover who we truly are, to realign ourselves with our set goals in life. If we have missed our part or we have missed our purpose in life for one reason or the other, this episode, or rather this series, is to help us rediscover who we truly are and to move on in life with our heads held up high. So it is our duty to support each other, to be the support structure that we need. So thank you all for watching, and remember to join us once again next week. Next week is going to be 7 p.m. West African time. Don't miss the date. So thank you for joining in, and remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. It is youtube.com/Tastebudzng, and the series is Life's Journey. Listening, learning, sharing our stories, one story at a time. Let us help each other to be the best version of ourselves. Thank you for watching, and it's bye-bye from Life's Journey. My name is Benedicta Elechi. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.